Woo! Happy Friday. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about today's episode. Welcome to episode 26 of Brand Experience Live. My name is Ashley Pereira. I'm the host of Brand Experience Live, the podcast that is live on LinkedIn and YouTube, where we dive into the ways to create memorable and unrivaled brands through brand experience, creating better opportunities for your prospects, your buyers, your employees, and your candidates. Today, we're going to be talking about the Omni-Channel experience, which is seamless branding across all platforms. So for this, right, it is what it means is that you're just creating a consistent brand message, right? We are making sure that they're, regardless of the platform that you are on, we are providing consistency in terms of like our authenticity, the messages that we're sending, who we are at all times, how we're representing ourselves, and what we're saying to people. Doesn't matter about the platform, right? The things within different platforms, as far as maybe the way you'll present information, right? The way that people like to receive it, maybe the graphic images or the videos that you share, those might be different, right? This is marketing. That's just the vehicle to get your message out there. But seamless branding, right? This is the core of everything. This is the soul of your business, who you are, everything that you're talking about. That needs to be the same at all times. So the three areas that we're really going to cover today, make sure that you get your notepad and your pen out, or your computer or phone if you're taking notes. There's some really, really good stuff in here to help you to set a solid foundation of, regardless of the how, you have to have this solid foundation in place. Today, we're going to be talking about unified brand messaging, visual cohesion, and perfecting the customer journey, right? So these are all very foundational things that, as a brand strategist and marketing strategist, this is the one thing that it doesn't matter if I work with a brand that has been in business for 10 years or you've been in business for 10 minutes. This is what I go over foundationally before I ever make suggestions for your business, tell you anything that we should be doing, apply frameworks or anything. Like, this is the foundation of what you need to be doing. So the first step is really creating unified brand messaging. The biggest thing that I suggest as far as doing that, I use a brand kit. This is where you're going to house everything about the core of who you are, right? Your soul, everything about who you are goes in this brand kit. If you have a Canva account, you can log into Canva. If you don't have a Canva account, by the way, whether you're a business owner or not, go get a free Canva account. It is so powerful. I use the paid version because I am just a super user. I use it all the time. I use it for websites, for all of my graphics, infographics, documents. Literally everything is in there. It is my Bible. But if you don't have a Canva account, go get a Canva account and type in to the template that you're looking for, brand kit, and it'll provide you with a really decent foundation for what should be included in there, actually. A couple things that should be in there are things that tell you more about your brand voice, things like your colors, your logos, verbiage, your tone, the types of words that you like to use, right? Getting back to conversation, who you are, how you communicate with people. These sort of things should be in this living document that should continue to grow and expand as you evolve in your brand. I also have things like typography rules, right? What font I like to use, the colors that I like to use in my brand. This goes into the visual era that we'll talk about next. But it really helps to set the foundation of the brand messaging. And I have things in there also like my bio, right? My purpose, my mission, an overview of who my target audience is, right? The feelings that they have, the problems that I'm solving for them. It's all in one unified place in my brand kit so that if I do hire someone to help me with something, or I'm collaborating with another individual on a workshop or a webinar, or I'm a guest on, right, a podcast or something along those lines, I just send them my brand kit and everything is in there for them to find out about who I am, my whys, what I use, how I present myself, all of it. The first step to creating unified brand messaging is to craft an authentic voice, right? So there are a lot of brand strategists, especially on the corporate side, that say like you need to distinguish between your personal voice and your brand voice, right? Like your company voice, but you do need to find a harmony between the two. Now, most of you that I'm speaking with, you are small business owners, you are solopreneurs. So there really should not be a difference between your brand voice, right? Your company voice, what you're doing, and how you're delivering it versus who you are. Because for you, you are the product, okay? Whether you think you're the product or not, people purchase your products and your coaching services or your B2B services, whatever your solution is, they purchase it because of you, because of who you are, how you present yourself, your, right, your ideology, everything. So first thing to do is to switch this mindset and remember, like, you are the product. You are selling yourself. Speak as yourself. Use words that you would use in everyday conversation. I have been, and it's funny, like sidebar, I've been really working hard at training my chat GPT. I talked a couple of weeks ago on another episode about personal brand, where I gave you all the like super strong chat GPT prompt that I love to use as a brand and marketing strategist. It helps to set the foundation of everything. But a part of that is teaching chat GPT how you speak because a lot of the times it's like super salesy and really corny, like, hi, you beautiful being. Like, and no one talks like that. No one talks like that in a conversation. So I've been doing a lot of work at training it. If I'm right having a conversation, teaching it like, look, this is how I talk to people. This is how I have regular daily conversations. These are the words that I use. I don't use those words. That sounds awful. And I speak to it like I'm training it to actually create content for me or create offers for me or help me develop certain things because it knows me and how I actually talk to people. One of the biggest tips that I can give you for how to communicate with people, whether it's verbally or written, is to think like you're talking to an elementary school student. Simplify it. No matter how simple you think something is about your solution or what it is that you're saying, simplify it even more. Get some layers, like more simple in there, and talk to them like they're an elementary school student. Like they have no clue what it is that you're talking about. A lot of our buyers in our target audience, they probably don't know the business jargon that you use, right? They just know I have a problem and I want it solved. And if they can't understand you in the words that, common words that we use on a day-to-day basis, they're not going to be able to connect with you. Now, if you're someone that uses, right, let's just say you're a doctor is going to be my example right now because I don't understand doctors. I don't know about you, but I can't. I always have to sit and say, like, can you use real words now that I understand? Think about a doctor, right? They are some of the most brilliant minds that you will ever meet. But most doctors, I'm not talking to everyone, y'all, don't get mad at me. But most doctors, they know what they know, right? It comes so easy to them that they don't think about the fact that other people don't know the same things as them. So they use the everyday jargon, medical terms that they're used to using, and they forget to switch their brains to, okay, I have to remember who my audience is and whom I'm speaking to. They're not going to understand these words, but I also need to maintain my authority, right? My expertise and my tone, right? I can still be friendly and kind or come off authoritative if that's your position that you're creating content or that you are promoting yourself on, right? You still need to maintain that authenticity, but switch your mindset in terms of how you communicate to speaking to your audience in the ways that they'll understand. Talk to them like they're elementary school students. So the best way to craft an authentic voice is to remember who you are, how you would talk to a friend, right? Everyday conversation, and to remember that who you're talking to, like most of the time, they're not going to have the same knowledge as you. That's the point of educating them and working with you, is so that they do become educated and better. So we need to think about where people are right now, not where you want them to be later. And consistency is key, right, in messaging. And now, something that a lot of people get wrong, and trust me, I sit and correct people all day on this, is that there is a difference between consistency and how often, right, you're doing something, frequency. They are not one and the same, okay? Consistency simply means, in this sense of your brand, that you're doing what you say you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. So if you say that I talk to everybody like they're my friend, and I have normal everyday conversations, and I educate, and I love giving away information, and I am going to, post whenever I can during the day, right? It's still consistent. As long as you're maintaining what you say, how you say, and when you say, that is consistency, right? It's not dropping the ball necessarily and surprising people by turning up as someone totally different. So if I have a conversation with you, or I see you on your social media and you're like, yes, I'm welcoming and I'm happy go lucky and I love educating. So I'm like, yes, I want to work with you. You're incredible. You're speaking my language. I can totally relate. And then I get on a call with you and you are the most dry cracker biscuit with like zero yeast in it, right? No moisture, no fluffiness at all. And you present yourself totally different than you do online. Wow, major turnoff. Most people don't even get to the purchase because of inconsistent messaging somewhere along the way. Okay. So just maintain that, right? Be comfortable with who you are. Don't pretend to be anyone else that you're not. Don't pretend to be anything else at any other point in time that you're not. Show up where you are. You have 100% permission to showcase who you are, when you are, where you are in life, because there is always going to be someone who relates that's maybe a step or two or three behind you that really needs to relate to that. And they love that you're showing where you are and that you're not perfect. And the way that, right, the next step is like being able to adapt to different platforms. So as far as like your brand messaging, right, maintaining your consistency in how you speak, how you show up, that should be the same no matter if it's your website, it's social media, it's in your emails, it's in whatever documentation or things that you provide as like freebies or purchases, your training, when someone onboards with you. It doesn't matter where you're showing up, you remain the same person, but there is some things to remember in terms of adapting to different platforms. This means making a slight change in tailoring your core message to that platform in terms of how they receive information, right? So you're not going to change what you're saying. You might change slightly how you're saying it or how you're presenting it. For example, I know that on LinkedIn, if I show up and I tell a story and I max out my 3,000 characters, most of the time, I'm going to get higher responses there than I would on another platform. I cannot show up on LinkedIn or sorry, on Instagram and do the same thing. I can't max out my characters there. I've noticed that people don't necessarily read everything. So I might take that message that I did on LinkedIn where I just show a picture of me, right? And to catch attention because I'm very personal. I love people knowing who I am. So that's why I post pictures. That's why I sometimes post videos. Also, that's why I do this every single week because I want you to see how I communicate. I want you to see the expressions on my face. I want you to know me, know Ashley. And the way that I show that is through actually communicating with you and making sure that my face is just drilled in your brain through those photos. But I do better with written content on LinkedIn and being real with my feelings. It's really interesting that right LinkedIn's looked at as like this professional platform, but the majority of my content that really sticks along with my message of empowering women and trauma survivors to do their best and up level and thrive in business and life is by talking about those yucky things in between all of the other the professional steps that everyone sees, because people like seeing the real me. So I talk about it. If I go over to Instagram, the pictures and the written content doesn't work for me. So I translate it into a video. That's really where I get the most amount of engagement is on video there. Same me, right? Same overall message, same core beliefs, same authenticity. There's consistency there in what I'm saying, but I'm delivering it differently based on what my audiences need on Instagram versus LinkedIn. The same with like my emails. I'm honestly, right? And I love being honest. I'm currently experimenting with email. I am the worst. And if you're on my email list, thank you for right taking in the information that I'm giving. The information that I give is great, right? But I'm trying to figure out what formats hits everyone in a way that it like really resonates, right? If they're clicking on things, if they're replying to my emails, if they're going through the different things that I tell them to do, I'm learning right now how to present myself in email. And it's really challenging, but it's a lot of fun right now because this is a platform I personally have not used for me before that I'm really learning, okay, how do I show up here as my authentic self a little bit differently? And I'm learning that, right, getting even more personal than I am on my LinkedIn, that's what's resonating more in my emails. But right, same message all the way through. Being personal, right? Overcoming challenges and talking about those. Like, don't be afraid to be authentic. And the next thing, so we went over unified brand messaging. The next thing in creating, right, seamless branding is your visual cohesion. Now, a lot of people, especially in like the good old days, we think of brand and you immediately think of logo, right? You think of colors and what the picture that comes into your mind in terms of the logo and how things are presented visually, right? This is really fantastic. This visual representation is very, very important as a piece of your brand, which is your soul, okay? So visual cohesion is so important because I don't want to show up on LinkedIn and have, for example, I'll take my colors, right? The first thing that'll come to mind is my colors right now. I use this like hot purple color. I'm obsessed with it. I immediately want you to get like, oh, look at that. Like, I'm happy and this is so fun. This is going to be someone with a lot of energy. This is someone who's going to probably give me energy and make me feel better and get me excited. That's the exact point of the colors that I've chosen. But I'm not going to show up on LinkedIn and use like dull, drabby colors where I did previously, right? Like I went through this rebrand the last few months and I'm still rolling it out slowly, but I went from like drabby black, which is not me at all. I am this like exciting, personal, bright, bubbly, I want to know you person. Why was I using black on everything? Yes, it's sophisticated, it's sexy. First of all, I don't like sexy. I like the dirty stuff. I like the boring stuff. That's where money is made, is in the boring and the dirty. That's where consistency lies, not in the sexy. Just like side note right now for all of you who go after trends, stay away from it. They're fun to be a part of, but don't set your business up according to trends. Set it up according to the super boring stuff that we need in everyday life and make it seem fun and easy and enlightening and approachable. But I went from this super dark color and now I have this like bright color that feels like me. So I use it on LinkedIn and I use it everywhere because I want people to know that no matter where they show up, if it's my website, which it's launching this month. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. But I want them to go from my website to my LinkedIn to my Instagram to my emails and know this bright color. Okay, this is Ashley's details. This is the like spark about her, right? And I have this like dusty blue color. Blue evokes trust and calmness and clarity. So I've mixed the two together so that we can go into this like visual messaging of, okay, I'm calm. I'm ready to listen. I trust. I can be myself. I can be authentic and move it into this really exciting thing that seemed boring before, but now I'm ready for it. That's why I chose the colors that I chose. They connect with me. This is why my hair is blonde. I make the decisions that I make based on how I feel so that I can feel authentic all the way through everything that I'm doing, from what I'm saying to how you see me. The same with like my typography. I use the same fonts and everything, the design elements whenever I'm making graphics. Show up as you, and you never have to think about whether you're doing it right or not. Your tribe will find you. Brand guidelines also go into this brand kit. So right, visual cohesion, the brand guidelines that I talked about before of listing all of these things. And then the last stage in like really getting into a solid, seamless branding across wherever you are is perfecting the customer journey. A lot of marketing and brand professionals talk about understanding your ICP, your ideal client profile, or your avatar, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, they're all the same thing. To me, that is so important. But first, you have to know yourself in order to really understand your audience as well. Because you're going to relate to, and vice versa, people that are your tribe, right? They really communicate with you the way that you need to communicate. So, in order to understand them, you need to know yourself first. What I mean by this is by knowing how you communicate with others and the way that you present information. If you are an introvert, okay, and this is a conversation I have daily with people reaching out to me, is I am so shy, right? This is an example of it. They're telling me, Ashley, I'm so shy to get on camera. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't know how I'm going to sell my products and services. My coach that I have tells me I have to get on video in order to do it because that's where my audience is going to be. First of all, this is a huge lie that you are being fed by someone that doesn't understand holistically how business works. And I will tell you right now, I'm going to totally toot my own horn. I have held every single position inside of a business that you can hold in order to tell you how things work, how people within the organization works at different stages, how our touch points work with customers at different stages, how people think, what they want, what irks them, what processes to use, the tools, everything. Okay. So I purposely put myself in this position to get to this point where I holistically understand the entire process of a business, whether we're talking about our customers, our prospects, our employees inside, the processes that you're responsible for as an entrepreneur or for your team, doesn't matter what it is. There is no one size fits all answer to anything. And you need to stick to your authenticity in what works for you, especially as a solopreneur or a small business owner in your first couple of years just starting out, because if it doesn't work for you, you're going to burn out. I can say that for me. I had a 300K plus annual revenue business that I got that way in like 2 years and 9 months, okay? I did really well, but I wasn't sticking to me as far as my mental health. I wasn't focused on that. I wasn't focused on the right relationships. I was listening to the wrong places. I was a yes man. Oh my gosh. I totally believe in the power of yes. I believe in saying yes now to learn later. But now, caveat, I believe in that if it falls in line with the ultimate goals that you're looking to achieve. But anyone that tells you you have to get on video, for example, getting back to this point, in order to reach your target audience, they don't know you. And if you follow their instructions, you're telling them that you also don't know you, and you're allowing them to give you the roadmap to what they believe that you should be doing based on what they would do, not based on what you should do for you, for your solutions, for your audience. If you are an introvert, there are 1,000 ways that you can reach your target audience without ever having to get on camera. If you're a coach, yes, for sure. Okay. You're going to be talking to people. It is probably in your best interest to start getting comfortable eventually with video, but you don't have to start out with it. You can start out with a photo of yourself. You can start out with an audio clip, right? Like, let's get creative. Let's find what is going to speak to you, what is going to help you get to your audience and solve their problems. So if you know you're an introvert, I hate getting on video. I can't stand it. My armpits sweat. I get anxiety. It makes me nervous. I stop eating, so my blood sugar drops and I don't have energy. I am shaking the whole time. And then I totally forget anything that I'm supposed to be saying because now I'm on video. I totally get that. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert. You don't know this because I've practiced so much to get to this point, going from focusing on, okay, what am I comfortable with? I'm comfortable with writing. I'm comfortable with graphics. I'm comfortable with facts, right? Facts don't lie. Numbers don't lie. I am a very analytical person. That's how I started out. I started out analytical by giving solutions and communicating based on the numbers. And I attracted what I needed to at that time. Meet people where they're at by being who you are, where you are as well. And as you evolve, you can adjust your delivery, you can adjust your solutions, you can adjust anything that you want to, but remain authentic to who you are, where you are, please. And the way that you can like really track this like customer journey, right? How you're communicating, who you're communicating to, identifying, right, the problems and the pain points, the problem that you want to solve, maybe the assets or the solutions that your ICP, your target audience is missing, right? That hole that they're missing, and identifying and providing solutions to help them with that really big pain point. The way that you can begin to track if you are perfecting the customer journey is by looking at analytics. I get that analytics can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not a numbers person, if you're not in an analytical mind, right? If you don't think that way, maybe you're a creative and you're just like so disorganized and you can't for your life even know where to start tracking how you can do it, right? There's in my profession in brand, there's a lot of brand professionals that say like on their resumes, they're like, I don't know how to track my results. I have no idea how to show how what I've done has created impact in my employer's company and what I do for my clients, because I do this like quote unquote creative thing where I'm talking about brand foundation and feelings. And how do you track feelings? You track it by picking your one platform, your one delivery method, and focusing on things like frequency in posting, your CTAs that you're asking for, how many people are clicking, how many people are following through and setting meetings with you, or eventually, right, becoming paying customers. How many of those paying customers are becoming evangelists and promoting you because of what you've done for them? These are solid track points where you can, right, even though it seems like it's like rainbows and sunshine and you can't track conversation, you can, because that emotion that you're giving in your content is translating into clicks. Maybe they get to that click and they're not following through. It's because when they get there, there's something that's still not there that they got from your content. And I'm learning this right now, right? This is the first time in my life where I am setting up things like funnels and sequencing. For me, everything that I've done my entire career has been 100% referral based. 100%. I've never had to go out and promote myself. I've never had to follow through with things like email nurturing or anything, nothing for myself. I can do it, right? I can strategize it. I can strategize the execution. I can figure out who to hire to do this for me. I don't have the money to do that though, so I need to figure out how to do it myself. But I'm having to figure out, okay, I know there was feeling in this post. People loved this post. I see their clicks on my landing page. I know that 100 people went to this landing page in the last 3 days, but why is it only converting to one person actually putting their information in? This is a total example. I don't have those kind of numbers, for being honest. And I'm okay with that because I don't want everyone to click. I want the people who get it to click. But if I was, right, this is telling me, all right, my message is really hitting on the front end of my funnel, and I'm getting there. I'm getting in the emotions. But when it comes to making a decision to find out more information or sign up for an email list or sign up for a program, I'm dropping the ball on this page. So this is how we can simplify looking at your numbers to understand if you're hitting your customers, your prospects, where they need to be during the journey. And once they are finally paying customers, this is super uncomfortable so often at the time. For so many clients I've talked to, get feedback in writing, get feedback on video, get the feedback. I don't care if you are a month into working with them. If they've only used your product that you've sold them one time, get the feedback. Ask them, how was it? How do you feel? Did this work for you? Was it what you expected? Did you feel like you got your money's worth? Like, get the feedback, especially early on in the beginning of your business or early on in the beginning of a launch, right? Whether it's a product or a service or a program. Getting that feedback and having that two-way communication, it helps you to continuously provide the solutions that your people need and to know how you should evolve, because you have to evolve as you go on in your business. If you're not evolving, you're dying. And so many business owners end up failing in business in years 1, 3, or 5, or eventually like way down the road, because they don't create the relationship with their buyers and understand how they're using their products or services, or how they're using the programs, how it's translating into the way that it's going out into the world. They don't understand what happens after the conversation or after the purchase. So they just keep going, doing the same things over and over again. Meanwhile, their buyers are evolving and they leave, right? So stay in those conversations, because it'll help you to really perfect if you're offering a solution that is sticky or that needs to be expanded or that needs to be simplified, or maybe you need to offer another one. Today was a lot. And that's what I plan to bring to you guys on these solo episodes of me by myself. I want to walk you through, like, this is how we should think. These are the exact steps to do it in, so that you can take away the overwhelm of all the questions that you might have and have a roadmap of like, do this and then this, and these are the things that need to be included. So if you registered for today's Brand Experience Live, this new thing that I'm doing now, which I like it. I think it's useful. And if you go back, and I know that I've gotten a lot of feedback actually on it, I'm including recap packs of every episode now because I want to teach you beyond this 30-ish minute episode where I want to give you physical resources, written content and outlines from this so that you can go back, rewatch the episodes and use them as training sessions. I don't want this to just be a podcast. I want it to be a training session on how you're going to up-level brand experience for your team, for your prospects and your buyers by setting the right foundations in motion every step of the way through your business. So if you registered for this live today, I'm going to send you over episode 26 recap pack. It's going to include the outline of the things that we discussed in order to create a seamless branding experience across all of your platforms. It's going to include my free branding kickstart checklist, which tells you, okay, these are the things that you need to make sure to set up in your business or your personal brand, right? Some of them can be very interchangeable in order to make sure that you are getting yourself to this omni-channel experience. So I'll include that. I'll include the replay of this. And I'll also include some other like after coaching things for you that if you want to continue on learning, whether you're starting a new business and you want to register for my launch business boot camp to launch your business in 30 days or less with the right foundations, or you're going to sign up for the Womanpreneur Lab. So you're a current entrepreneur, doesn't matter how long you've been in business, but going through over the course of 6 months in this program with the mastermind community, going through making sure that we have the right foundations in every area of our business, our lives, our mental health, our personal relationships, to make sure that we don't burn out in our businesses, to make sure that we continue doing the right things simplified in order to get to the life that you want in the time that you want. Doesn't matter what resources you might need later. I want to keep educating you. And in addition to that, starting next week for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be going on LinkedIn Live twice a week for 30 minutes each time, up to 30 minutes, depending on what the questions that I get. I'm going to be doing Ask Me Anything sessions. So you can literally ask me anything. You can ask the most specific questions about your current business, about current challenges that you're having in your career search, maybe in your mental health, maybe in your personal relationships as it's related to how you're living your entrepreneurial life. Maybe you're a parent and you have parent guilt around trying to build this business and not spend time with your family. Like maybe you have branding questions, finance questions, you need help in any of those areas. You can ask me anything. I've gotten some really great questions between my Instagram account and my LinkedIn account. I will be sure to include the link to that poll as well in the in our recap pack so that you can go on and also vote for where you're at right now, what you need help with, and send me in some questions for these Ask Me Anything sessions. They're going to be free. Like I've never done this before. And I have so much knowledge to share. I want to meet you where you're at and give you whatever help that you need. So I'm going to be posting about that later on the dates and inviting you if you want to join. I'm so excited about this path that I am on and the conversations I have been having. It has been so enlightening for me to understand my target audience and the things that my target audience needs to meet them where they're at and help them to get to where they're going. And I want to share this experience with you. So I will see you next week on Friday at 12:30 p.m. Kim Braylon is going to be joining me. I am so excited to talk with her about the program that she's doing for entrepreneurs, how she's helping them to build the foundations in their business, especially for startups. And we'll see you then.